All 41 workers who were trapped in a collapsed Himalayan tunnel have now been rescued. I can give you a look once again at the exterior of that tunnel that we've been closely watching, where those construction workers were stuck, of course, for the last 17 days. And we're looking at a final ambulance, it seems, there outside of that tunnel entrance. Let's get back to Vedika Sood now in New Delhi for us. Vedika, I think it's tough to find words to emphasize the relief of the success of this 17-day mission, and it's had plenty of setbacks. The relief of the officials there, of the families, and indeed the workers themselves, that for the first time in 17 days breathing fresh air.
Oh, absolutely. It's nothing short of a miracle, and that's what a lot of officials on the ground would say. But, we're just hearing from the Chief Minister of the state as well, who's addressing the media, and he himself is saying that the biggest jolt that they face in the ops was the auger machine, which is a heavy drilling machine that broke down repeatedly. The last 2 meters that they covered today was through manual drilling. They sent scores of these rescue teams inside that drilled through the debris, that drilled through the metal, and this is an ecologically fragile area. This tunnel collapsed partially because of a landslide, and this rubble and debris, of course, was on unstable and unsteady ground. So it was equally dangerous sending these rescue teams inside as it would be to rescue those people who were trapped inside. There were scores of ambulances on standby over the last 6 hours. We were anticipating a lot of movement earlier in the day, and that's exactly what happened, and that's what we've seen. And now these 41 men have been successfully extracted from inside the tunnel through a 50-meter pipe, which is about 3 feet wide in diameter. They were pulled out through a pulley system after being mounted on stretchers gently, and they illuminated the entire passageway of this pipe to make sure that these men who have faced severe trauma over the last 17 days are pulled out gently and reassured that they're on their way out and they're on their way to safety. Seconds later, after every one man was pulled out from that pipe, they were whisked away in ambulances, away from this rubble, Julia, away from the debris, away from danger, and away from uncertainty, which they had at least faced for the last 16 days.
Yeah, and a pulley system was used in a far smaller pipe than you're seeing here, which is this tunnel entrance, just to give us a viewers a sense now. And what you're seeing there, it seems, I think, on the side is sort of curtains, because we didn't really get to see the removal of any of these workers as we were seeing this operation take place over the past hour. In particular, they were, to your point, whisked into ambulances for the most part and taken away, even as we saw the celebrations around. Vedika, we are going to hear, I think, tales of heroism that took place over the past 17 days, in particular, as you said, when the machinery broke, digging literally with their hands in order to try and get to these workers. Have we had any updates so far? And I appreciate it's early, but as you said, there was a hospital even set up inside the tunnel on the health of these men.
I think we'll have to wait a while, maybe overnight perhaps. It's already about 9 o'clock here in India, local time. It's dark out there. The priority obviously would be to take them to a medical center, to assess them overnight, to make sure that any needs are catered to at this point, especially mental health is going to be a primary focus for the medical experts who are attending to these men. But over the last 17 days, Julia, there have been pipelines through which oxygen has been supplied, food has been supplied. Initially it was dry food, and when they had a wider pipe, they started sending in cooked food. There's water that's been sent in, medicines, vitamin D, mobile chargers. So they've assured that whatever they could supply these men with through those very narrow pipelines they have. Medical attendants, medical supervisors have been on a megaphone with them over the last 2 weeks, assessing their condition, talking to them, telling them to eat, telling them to hydrate themselves, along with a constant assurance that they will be pulled out, which has culminated into what we're seeing on our screen today, which is a huge success, not short of a miracle. 41 men pulled out, extracted from a tunnel that collapsed partially on the 12th of November due to a landslide in the area in this very ecologically fragile region. A lot of questions must be asked by environmentalists, by ecological experts. The government should also be held accountable at this point for what they've seen over the last 17 days. It's been nothing short of a disappointment to have these men stuck inside the tunnel, but today there has been success, and at least for this moment that should be celebrated. Julia.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you called it not far short of a miracle. I think most people watching this will consider it a miracle after 17 days to manage to get food, water, oxygen to them and to get all 41 safely out. And as you said, maybe we'll have to wait a few hours now till we hear about their health, and we'll keep our fingers crossed on that front. But I think we are witnessing a miracle in northern India today with all 41 of those workers out, and Vedika, the families as well. We can only imagine, and I know you've been talking, you and your team, to many of them, the sheer relief and joy at getting their workers and family relations out safely after 17 days of what can only have been unimaginable fear, I think, waiting. Vedika Sood in New Delhi. I'll say thank you to you now, and we'll continue to cover this developing story.